Hello again, Star Wars players. Queso Sauce 37, bringing you some commentary for this Game 3 of the European Championships, Day 1. Tom D versus Emil. Light side Diplo, dark side Entanglements. We got light side player on the top, starting strike planning, insurrection, and squadron assignments, Emil mobilization points, Imperial arrest order, and/or shield. Of course, this is kind of a mirror match with the two starting ships, the Devastator and the Tanta V4, sitting there with the R2D2 and the stolen data tapes. Although I don't see the tapes on the table, so that's interesting. Handshakes, here we go. Starting hand, got a Menace Fades, Leia, was pretty quick, Tom. Rescue in the Clouds, Tatooine Sight, Rebel Barrier, a couple more characters, maybe Sabine. Emil, getting Endor Shield pulls, Thrawn, and Ozzel. Tom's going to play his Rescue. Some Might out of the commission, and can take care of myself. Probably would take the Might here. Maybe the light side interrupt. Yeah, he took the Might. Emil's going to get the flagship Executor with mob points. I still don't, I guess maybe, hopefully the data tapes are just underneath the Tanta V4, and I just can't see it. It looks like there's something underneath there, so probably the data tapes. Looking at Emil's hand, saw a Stormtrooper Garrison, didn't get a chance to see much else. Tom's going to play the Might to go get a Senator, probably Bail Organa. Emil played a Defensive Shield Useless Gesture. Virtual, looks like. Looks like Emil's got some food at the table. That's nice. I always enjoy in tournament where you got food served right to your table. Alright, so let's see. What is Tom going to grab with Might? Like I said, I would probably guess Bail because you can pull Mothma with strike planning. I'm not sure what other senator. He got Leia in his hand, so I'm not sure what other senators would be in there. So. I guess he's going to take Mothma, so save himself a strike planning pull. Get himself a Kraken and Solo, or not Solo, a Calrissian. Lots of pulls. Emil's going to finally activate some force. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so. Okay, yeah, the data tapes were underneath the Tanta V4, so that's confirmed my earlier suspicion. Emil gets a Tat Site with his objective, gets the docking bay, also not the Executor docking bay, but the Tatooine docking bay. He's going to play... he had the Executor one in hand, that makes sense. So 2 Tatooine sites pulled first turn by Emil. Probably wants to get the jump on the flip, but certainly won't happen this turn. You also usually want to put a couple pilots up on that Devastator and just blow out the R2 droid, yeah. So we're going to go with the Free Thrawn, and he also got the opening hand Mahdi. Mahdi is going to give that ship some nice immunity and a good power boost. So yeah, that'll be sufficient to take out the droids on the or on the Tanta V4. Did Emil draw a 0 for Battle Destiny? Oh, that's a bummer. I mean, certainly though with the power, it's still going to be enough to forfeit the droids, but drawing the 0 for Destiny is definitely not what you want. Still early on though, lots of sites in the deck, so it's bound to happen once in a while. Droids get forfeited down to the Dune Sea, as is standard. And looks like he also caused a little bit of overflow. So we lost the Menace Fades from hand. So 1 point overflow. So yeah, that Destiny would have caused a few more overflow. It had been anything other than a 0. So he's going to get 3 overflow actually out of it. So loses the Might and the Rescue. A couple of high Destiny cards right away. Yeah, so we lost the droids and also 3 overflow. So yeah, if Emil had drawn just like a 3, then that's pretty crazy. Would have caused either the Tanta V4 to die or the 6 overflow or whatever. So certainly not the start that you want. But if you play Diplo, you sort of have to expect that when you play Entanglements. That you either need to be comfortable forfeiting the Tantive or taking some overflow in this matchup. So at this point, Tom's going to play a Tatooine side of his own with his objective, probably load up his Tanta V4, move over to Chandrilla, assuming he can get that out. Goes for the Cantina right away. Not sure if that's the site I would have pulled, given that there was Mos Eisley or whatever in there for a 2-1. Don't want to give up an extra icon unless you have to, but maybe he's got a plan here. So he also gets the Chandrilla. Mothma goes on to the Tanta V4. And we'll see who else gets loaded up on there. Then the droids will shuttle up. He'll move over to Chandrilla, get the activation bonus there. Looks like Bail Organa, I would guess. And maybe he'll go with the Rogue Squadron pilot or General Kraken or somebody, but he's also going to play the farm. So yeah, lots of Tatooine sites, so nobody's hurting for activation this game. Place the Rogue Pilot to the Tanta V4. You get to draw a card when you play him from the top of your reserve deck. So we'll see if Tom remembers that. Doesn't look like he's going to. Yep, shuttles the droids up, moves. Yep, so he could have gotten one more card there when he played the Rogue Squadron guy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But he's the Rogue Squadron leader dude. And when you play him, he lets you draw a card from top of reserve deck if you just deployed a Rogue Squadron pilot to the same location. So gotta remember those card draws. So Emil plays Piet, and then had preemptively used Piet to pull the Battle Deployment Admiral's Order. That's the one that lets you get combat vehicles from reserve deck. Emil's going to play a Blizzard 4. Nope. No, okay, yeah, he plays the Admiral's Orders. Tom plays Graver Shield. See, I'd probably play a Goldenrod, since you were just showing that he's got a Blizzard 4 in his hand, but it's just me. Alright, and then Emil's playing a Tarkin's Bounty to get a card from his force pile. Didn't quite see what he grabbed there. It was a red card of some kind. I'm guessing maybe an occupation or... Alright. Plays a card, looks like a speeder bike or some sort of. It's in a nice little glare spot for me, so we'll see if I can catch what that card is. Maybe it's just a character. Yeah, actually it looks like it's just a character. Imperial Justice. That might have been the card he grabbed with Tarkin's Bounty. It was definitely a red card. It's Blizzard 4 and Sneak Attack and a Dark Time for the Rebellion stacked upon his Justice. Okay, so that's definitely some sort of ATST, maybe a Tempest Scout 3 or something like that. And he's going to docking bay transit Piet over to the docking bay, and then Piet's probably going to be a pilot aboard that chicken walker. A little surprised he didn't go a little heavier, but maybe he's just playing conservative. He's got the system, he's got the one site, docking bay with mob points, couple extra activation there. So next turn we'll probably see him go for a flip. Alright, so Emil's got battle order, or no, he's going to take it back. I also thought he had played a useless gesture, but I think he realized that he meant to play the grabber, not the useless gesture. So, definitely not typically see useless gesture pulled against Diplo. I mean, I suppose if they play solo, and you want to prevent them from having free arms from Lost Pot with solo, but usually that's just considered a watcher step shield. Alright, and there's the Alderaan system from Tom. You gotta have Alderaan, you gotta have the tapes delivered to Alderaan in order to finish your objective, or flip your objective. You still then, after you've delivered the plans, you still have to occupy a battleground system and a battleground site, but it's like Emil's gonna play I Can't Shake Him to grab a pilot aboard his ship, DS615V. It's a good card. Looks like the Bright Hope, if I was guessing. A little bit of a glare spot there too, but I'm sure that ship will get moved to a more standard location here in a moment. I really like to know what Emil was eating on there. Looks pretty tasty. It's clearly a knife and a fork food. Alright, Tom goes to the cantina with the character. Couldn't see what that is. That's a glare spot. And then goes with Ray. Get a used pile pull with Ray. Some pretty good cards in there. Cassian Andor, Wedge Antilles, Jin Urso, Owen and Baru. Galen Urso, I think, is that first card by his thumb there. Looks like he's going to go with Cassian Andor. Always a good call. That guy's pretty friggin' solid. Alright, he's going to go ahead and deploy Cassian also to the cantina. Really wants to have that cantina. And then he's going to move the Bright Hope, or looks like the Bright Hope, but I'm not certain that it is. Luminous, that I kind of look like. And then the tapes are delivered. When you deliver the tapes, then you get to go through your reserve deck and take any card. Hujix is a great card. I'm fond of that one myself. And he goes with a different card. Let it be known that at 15 minutes and 45 seconds he could have grabbed a Hujix and then didn't. Just saying. Emil plays a firepower shield. That's going to allow him to retrieve a card since he's got a Battleground system, Battleground Sight. Opponent deployed a card with ability yet did not initiate a battle. That is firepower and weapons display allow players to take advantage of non-interaction. Emil plays to retrieve his prepared defensors. Alright, so I imagine now that Tom's done with his turn, we're going to see Emil get a flip on this turn with his IE deck. He's going to play a command. Command is probably the card you grab in this matchup. We'll see if Tom decides. Doesn't look like he does. Interesting. Command and leadership are you know, if someone walks by your game and they see you've grabbed one of those cards, that's a card they're not going to say, oh, why'd you grab that card? It's just very strong, very powerful interrupt. Especially in this IE deck, he's got admirals everywhere, and he's just used it to grab a general, the best general in the game, General Veers. So he's got a Mighty Force Pile. We'll see. Like I said, I can't imagine him not flipping here. He's gonna go Blizzard 2. Search his reserve deck for something. Didn't find it. Blizzard 2 and Veers are gonna go to the farm. No, to the Dune Sea. Yeah, Veers is really good at the Dune Sea because the draw 6 ability thing doesn't really matter when you draw 2 if unable to otherwise. Completely gets around that text. Oh, no, he's not going to the Dune Sea. Oh, he is. There's the Tatooine Occupation. Occupation cancelers have been less often in decks these days because IE is kind of perceived as less good since the changes that were made to slow it down a little bit. But it's if the opponent can't cancel your occupation, it can be quite devastating. So Vader goes to the farm. Of course, Vader goes there. Get your flip on. And yeah, if you get Vader and a trooper there, you actually get to drain for a pretty decent amount at the farm. So certainly something that Emil can achieve in this deck with relative ease. So now Tom, if he doesn't disturb any of this damage, he's going to be getting drained for 2 at the system, and then a few pings on the ground, and then occupation for 3. So it'll be important here for Tom on this turn to yeah, I mean, he's got his own damage of 2 at the cantina, 1 at the system, maybe 2 at the system with Bale, but you're not going to beat IE in a straight up drain race. Unless you somehow also get celebration going, but that does not seem likely given the current status of the board. Emil's going to top deck a few cards for those drains. Yeah, Lightside also looks like they need to draw a few cards. They got 6 cards or so in hand. They got a couple characters, but not really a lot to attack. I mean, if you had a Padme or something, you could maybe attack Vader, but you don't have that. You could maybe try to attack at the Chicken Walker site with just Piet there. There's no other reacts, at least on the board currently. So that's probably the site that he's the weakest at. Code clearance isn't out or anything like that. So I mean, Piet's just forfeiting for like 5 or 6. Yeah, and so that's if you're gonna attack, I would probably attack there. At least get him off one site for occupation, and cancel out one of those drains. That's 2 force loss a turn that you're, and then if you're setting up a drain yourself, so it could be pretty substantial. Does have the EPP Luke. You could maybe try to attack Vader, but Diplo not known for having like amazing Destiny draws, so and this early on probably doesn't have anything like tracked, or he also pitched a couple of high Destiny interrupts early to overflow, so not counting on him to draw straight 5s in Destinies for much of this game. But Luke and Sabine could definitely like clear out the Chicken Walker. Calfal also could be interesting, but with Justice pulls, I'm not certain how Calfal works with Justice. I'm pretty sure that Justice would prevent the shenanigans there, but could be wrong. Alright, so now we got to see what Tom's got up his sleeve. Obviously, this is a pretty important turn for him, so definitely taking his time to think it out. I still think he's got to clear one site if he wants to keep up in this drain race. 6 force. Goes with the Luke. Not sure why it's 6 for Luke. I always thought he was 5. 4 force for Sabine. Might as well pay the 2 for Calfal, or pay the 0 for Calfal. He's gonna go with Lando, see what it looks like. It's the only other character. Calfal's free. 5 forfeit. I think, yeah, we'll see how this goes. He doesn't have a leadership to use with the Calrissian, so he's gonna battle. See if Emil's got a react from hand. Another Chicken Walker or something. Thought he had a trample also in hand. He can maybe try to trample Sabine. She's pretty easy. Ability's only 2. He's gonna use Justice. Takes the sneak attack. Draws Destiny Mandalorian Mishap. It's either a 4 or a 5. Emperor Shuttle for Emil is a 3. So Lightside definitely. Oh, and he's going to get the Diplo bonus too. So Lightside's definitely doing pretty well here with 12, 13 base power, and then a Destiny 4, and then Diplo bonus of 3. So definitely gonna have to clear that site for Darkseid, I would guess. With the attrition, he's gonna lose Calrissian. Still got Sabine and Luke. He's got overflow of I Can't Shake Him and the Emperor Shuttle, as well as the cleared site. Emil's going to play Secret Plans. He's He's figuring which order he wants to forfeit the cards from battle in. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, I mean, Tom cleared that site, like I said. Oh, and looks like Emil has to lose a couple more overflows. 2 more. It's the barrier and a trooper off of the reserve deck. So Tom did clear one site there. That was a good call. That's a net drain difference, or force, loss difference of like 3, since he turns off 1 occupation damage, 1 force drain loss, and then gains a force drain of his own. So definitely a solid play there. Then he's going to move the droids and the other ship back over to Chandrilla. Tom is still looking at occupation for 2, drains of 4. So I mean, that's 6. 6 a turn is not easy to keep up with. I mean, he himself is doing 1, 2, 3, 4 a turn. No, 5 a turn. But 6 to 5 is advantage Emil, and Emil can probably set up at another Tatooine site, maybe the junkyard that's over there at the end. Gonna be pretty hard for his characters to get over there. You could put like a ATST over there and something, move around. But yeah, Emil's definitely in the driver's seat here, because I don't think Lightside is going to contest the Tatooine system, and therefore they're not going to cancel the occupation unless they're running the Tatooine occupation canceler, the free ride Endor celebration combo. Okay, so he does have the escape pod card to help the occupation damage. You wonder if Emil might decide to grab her that card. Probably seems like a good idea. No. No grab. That's interesting. Wonder what card he's saving his grabber for then. I mean, that card basically says you only lose no force or 1 force or whatever to occupation for the remainder of turn, which might be no force. I mean, I guess maybe you're just counting on your opponent not to be able to track it back around, but you have the force to grab. It's a card that hinders your damage. Probably would have grabbed it. Maybe that's why I'm not as good as Emil, but we'll see what happens. I also thought Tom should have grabbed that command that Emil played earlier, but maybe he didn't have the force for it at the time. So we'll see what the grabs end up being, and if they end up being as important as the ones that I thought. So Emil's going to pay for something there. Can't really see what that is. If it's by itself, I'm guessing it's a character that draws destiny on its own. Maybe the Emperor or... Tarkin goes to the junkyard. He's going to retrieve a trooper with his objective, so that means he's in his draw phase. It's another site. Something special planned for them, I think. Trample. Pretty sure he just drew into a trample, so that's nice. That could be pretty big in this matchup, because there's a lot of squishy dudes for Diplo. So now Emil's setting up occupation for 4, drains of about 2, 3, 4, 6. So, I mean, that's like 10 a turn, give or take. There's no deck that can tolerate that for more than a couple turns. Emil goes ahead and loses the Executor. Doesn't think he'll need it this game. Loses the sneak attack. Light side's got, drains of 5, so. Just going to go with Chewbacca Protector against the Tarkin. It's going to cancel game text there, so maybe no Battle Destiny there. Emil does have some barrier in his hand, though, I thought. Tom also goes with the Falcon to the docking bay. And he puts some sort of gun on Chewie. Stun Blaster or something. Not sure what that gun is. Emil plays Sneak Attack and puts a card from hand on top of his reserve deck, so we know he's going to be drawing high. But yeah, I guess the game text is canceled with Chewbacca, so I don't even think he's going to get Destiny. Oh, did he get Stun Blastered and return to hand? Is that what that card does? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what that card does. Okay, so rather than battling him and causing overflow or whatever, he just shot Tarkin with the Stun Blaster and returned the card to hand. So, interesting. And he moves the Falcon up after picking up Rey, and then moves the Tantive V4 over in front of the Executor, or the Devastator. Sorry, blah. So he's trying to get those force drains down. But I mean, Emil's still going to be doing drains of 3 on the ground and occupation for 3. So I mean, that's 6 a turn. Okay, so then he looks like he moved something back over there to Chandrilla. Maybe it was the Falcon using its extra move, but not sure. Still doesn't look good for light side though. counting up the force loss. I think I have it at 6